look at all the people here. You know what? We're not alone. People across the United States are saying enough is enough. No Obamacare.
This bill doesn't save money. This bill doesn't decrease the debt. It is loaded with gimmicks. And now we're going to see this week parliamentary tricks. Parliamentary tricks to jam this thing through.
As Benjamin Franklin departed the Constitutional Convention, he was asked with the American founders if he had created a monarchy or a republic. He said a republic, if you can keep it.
I was medical director of diagnostic imaging for Thunder Bay Regional Hospital in Thunder Bay, Canada. The average wait time for specialty services in Canada is 17.3 weeks. Our waiting time for a CAT scan was 7 months long. For an MRI scan, it was 13 months long. And I knew several specialists in other fields that had 2-year waiting lists. In Massachusetts, with the expanded role of government in healthcare and mandated insurance, we have seen shortages develop for medical services. Doctors are moving out of the state, and Massachusetts now has the most expensive healthcare in the union. Guess what? The proposed legislation is based on centralized control of the healthcare economy, price controls, and mandated insurance. All of the things that have been proven to not work.
But his national health care bill is not best. It will fracture the patient-doctor relationship. It will impose price controls and new taxes. It will put government in charge of medical decisions, and it will give us a brand new regulatory regime. Where in the Constitution is Congress given the right to take away your health care freedom? Nowhere. Where in the Constitution can Congress force you and me to buy a health insurance policy we don't want? Nowhere. Where in the Constitution does Congress have a right to force us to pay more for health insurance? Nowhere.
This is our country. We own it. We own it. We are not the indentured servants of Pelosi, Reid, or Obama. They can't spend any amount of money they want and stick us with a bill. That's not the way this works. It's our country. Remember that. As a matter of fact, this morning in the Wall Street Journal, they summed up Barack Obama's cost control plan. They said this is what they're going to do. First, they're going to subsidize coverage so much that costs are going to explode. We know that's true, don't we?
Yes, we do!
Next, they're going to raise our taxes as much as they can possibly get away with to pay for it. But it will never be enough. And when it isn't enough, then the president is going to hand over power to an unelected committee to limit our treatment and control prices by government order. That's what Democrats are going to vote for. Is that what we want? No. Those who expect to support the president, they're looking to get favors. Let me tell you about one. We just saw one representative from Utah. He was looking like he was on the edge. Maybe the president could flip his vote. So the president offered his brother a federal appeals judgeship, a lifetime appointment. Within about an hour, the president had this representative in the White House twisting his arm to get his vote. Then we saw another thing happen. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. I'm positive. A representative from West Virginia on the undecided list, but by coincidence, the Justice Department just announced they're dropping an FBI investigation that's been swirling around this congressman. My goodness, if only Charlie Rangel had stayed undecided. From the time of Bailout Nation in September of 2008 until July of 2009, the federal government took over control or ownership of 30% of the private economy. They took over banks. They took over the largest insurance company in the United States, AIG. They took over the secondary mortgage market. Freddie and Fannie nationalized them. Over 50% of all homes in the United States today are backed up and guaranteed by the federal government. Now Uncle Sam is the company store, and they think we're going to work for them. Is that our future? No! And now their next step is to take over health care, another 18% of the private economy. Think of how stunning this is. President Obama took office in December of last year, and we're looking at seeing almost 50% of the economy taken over by the federal government. At that point, we become indentured servants, and we can no longer say with a straight face that we are free men. That's why it all comes down to this. It is this week, and this is the week that Nancy Pelosi plans to put this bill through. But she and President Obama don't get to nationalize 1/6 of our national economy without us voting on it. So have us vote on a measure that says the bill is already passed. They violate the Constitution, Article 1, Section 7, Clause 2, that says you must record in the journal the name of the member of Congress and whether they voted A or nay. That's James Madison that wrote that provision for your benefit. Because the greatest asset that we have to freedom is that you elect someone to represent you who goes to Congress, who has to put their name next to their vote and how they voted. If they deny that, they have taken away from you your franchise, and then you are being taxed without representation. Have you ever heard of that before? This bill will not lead us to a better life. This bill could end up being the stone that sinks this country forever into a sea of debt. We are better than that. We are here today to reclaim the greatness of this country, and great we are. We are great because of the values and the ideals that we were built upon. And that's what we hold on to. That's what we ascribe to. God shed His grace on this country and gave us this great country, and we won't go out without a fight. So we're here today to say to Senator Franken, Senator Klobuchar, Representative Obastar, Representative Peterson, Representative McCollum, Representative Ellison, Representative Waltz, you work for us. We don't work for you. And like John Adams said, you are a trustee. And if we can't trust our trustees, you are no more. This is 234 years that we stand on the shoulders of those who fought and bled and died to transfer to us the torch of liberty. And now we hold it. It's ours. And so the question is, are we up to the task? I know you are. But this is it. It's the 5-alarm fire. So I'm counting on you. Will you be there? Yeah! That's all we can ask. God bless you. God bless the United States.
We heard from inside the Capitol over 4,000 of us here today. 4,000. Don't let the media get away with telling you anything different. And you can be sure on my show today, I'll be saying there was over 4,000. Michele Bachmann was exactly right. Go to Minnesota Majority, click on the Code Red button. Just because you showed up today doesn't mean your work is done.